Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another YouTube video. This is Nicholas Acosta, and today I am here to talk about Apple's September 12th event. Yes, guys, we are only 4 days away from Apple holding their event. The event will be held on Tuesday, September 12th at the Steve Jobs Theater located in Cupertino, California, in the new Apple Park. And this is the iPhone 8 event. We'll be expecting a new iPhone 8, a third generation Apple Watch, a new Apple TV, possibly with 4K display Apple TV. And of course, they're going to give us the final dates on when the new versions of iOS 11, macOS High Sierra, tvOS 11, and watchOS 4.0 will be released to the public. So here's what we know, starting with the iPhone 8 rumors. Well, the iPhone 8 is rumored to have a 5.8 edge-to-edge display, a new and upgraded A11 processor. They're going to be omitting the home button and possibly replacing the Touch ID with 3D facial recognition. This is cool. Also, because they're taking away the home button, they're going to be replacing it with a software bar, probably something like the Touch Bar on the MacBook Pro. A software bar on the iPhone. Of course, 5.8-inch OLED edge-to-edge display, like I mentioned earlier. Wireless charging. Faster cable charging. What else? A bunch of rumors are saying waterproof, but I don't know if we're gonna see a waterproof iPhone 8. Of course, this is gonna be the 10th anniversary iPhone, but they're just calling it iPhone 8. And so I don't know if they remove the home button, how maybe they're gonna put a virtual home button. 3D recognition. This seems interesting. This sounds interesting. I wonder how this is all gonna work, especially for those of you who use VoiceOver, who use any of the accessibility features. If they're gonna add a virtual home button, I maybe they're gonna put it in the software bar. Also, they can probably use this for toggling on and off VoiceOver or any of the accessibility features that are in iOS, such as the flashlight, the magnifier, whatever. What else? Yeah, so that's what they're gonna be releasing. That's what's rumored to be released. 5.8-inch OLED display. They're gonna omit the home button, replace it with a software bar. Wireless charging, quick cable charging, a 3D facial recognition system, new A11 chip. I guess this is for augmented reality and virtual reality purposes. Of course, this is still going to be 64-bit. And also, new memory configurations. There are reports that are saying that they're going to drop the 128 and leave a 256 and replace it with the new 512 gigabyte option, which would be kind of cool. But I would hope that they keep the 128 and drop the 64 gigabyte model, because right now it's 64, 128, and 256. They should just drop the 64 gig model, leave 128, 256, and 512 gigs of internal storage. I mean, the 512 would probably be for those of you who take a bunch of photos and have a bunch of apps on the phone. Right now, I have the iPhone 7 Plus, and I have 256 gigabytes of onboard internal storage. What would I like to see for the next iPhone 8? This is probably just wishful thinking right now. An SD card slot for adding extra memory, because we don't even have an internal SD slot for adding extra memory, so that would be cool. What else? As far as iOS 11 is concerned, maybe they should make this update maybe when 11.1 is released, that we have support for being able to use third-party applications. Like, you have to use all the apps that come with iOS, so you can't open an email in a separate web browser. So if you have Chrome installed or Firefox installed on your iPhone or iPad, iOS won't allow you to open an email in your preferred browser. You have to open it in Safari. So things like that. I mean, being that they're changing to a new file system, APFS, in iOS 11 and macOS High Sierra, I think that when iOS 11.1 is released, probably later on next year, that they put some of these features. Of course, my biggest feature that I always wanted was not having to use iTunes to import music onto the iPhone. In iOS 11.1, they should make it so that if you're not an iTunes user, you can still import music other ways, by just hooking up the iPhone or iPad to the computer and using it as a external drive, and just dragging and dropping your music folders into a music folder on the device. But I don't know, this is probably just wishful thinking. I hope that Apple will do this in the future. That way people that don't use iTunes don't have to go through the whole thing of installing iTunes on their Windows computer, if they don't have a Mac. I mean, if they have a Mac, then it'll be easier because it already comes with iTunes, but just providing a way for people to just install music without iTunes would be a great thing. As far as Touch ID being removed, I hope they don't remove Touch ID. I hope that the software bar that's going to replace the home button would have a 3D sensor built into, a fingerprint sensor built into it, as well as the 3D face recognition. Maybe that'll be integrated in the software bar, who knows, or maybe it'll be integrated in the rear-facing camera or the iSight camera in the front. We don't know what the iPhone 8 is gonna bring, but of course, moving over to the third generation Apple Watch, of course, WatchOS 4 is gonna be released in a few days. Right now, iOS 11 is at beta 10, so we might be seeing the GM Seed or the Gold Master. The 10th beta of WatchOS has been released, also tvOS. But the third generation Apple Watch, they said, is going to provide standalone LTE support. So you won't need a phone like you do now to use its features. You'll have just a standard watch with 4G LTE connection built in, which is kind of cool. A very, very cool rumor that's been going around for some time now. And like I said, a new Apple TV, 4K resolution Apple TV will be released. Maybe they're gonna include a faster processor, but we really don't know what they're gonna say about this new fourth generation Apple TV. Maybe it'll be a fifth generation. Who knows? We just have to wait until September 12th, which is only in 4 days, because this video is being recorded on September 8th. And yeah, I hope that Apple. I hope that everything that we talked about in this video, or maybe not everything, but mostly everything, is announced at this iPhone event. Maybe the features that I requested in iOS 11, maybe those won't be talked about, but I hope that everyone that has been spreading around these rumors are correct. And so I hope to see you in the next video, and probably the next video that I record will be when iOS 11 is released and when the new versions of Mac OS, tvOS, and watchOS are released. I currently don't have an Apple Watch, but if I like what I see in the third generation Apple Watch, I might decide to get one. So anyway, this is Nicholas Acosta signing off.